Alright, in this video where I'm going to talk about the differences between Flames of War and Team Yankee, I'm going to cover the assault. So it starts on page 57. Oh, almost got to it. There we are, 57. One of the big differences is that if you want to assault with something like a tank or something like that, infantry, if it moved more than 10 inches, it cannot assault. So that's part of this one of the new rules down here. So if you do your cross-country move or whatever, and you can move your tactical move, and you can move 16 inches, if you move 11 inches, you will not be able to assault with that. So keep that in mind. You can only move 10 inches and still be able to assault. Also, when you move into contact now, so I'm going to use these. So here's some Germans, and these Americans want to assault. Well, the rule is now that they have to be within 4 inches. So you move, and it says the shortest route possible. So, and that is right down here. An assaulting unit moves any of its tank or infantry teams up to 4 inches into contact with the enemy team by the shortest route. So they're going to get in the base to base with these guys. These guys weren't close enough to make the assault, but if they can move into base to base with a friendly unit that's in base to base, they can move in there. So it's no longer this 8 inches out moves in. It's can you get in base to base, and then can they move into base to base with an ally that's in base to base with the enemy. So that's the new assaulting rules as far as moving into contact with each other. And again, that's charge into contact here on page 57. 58, one of the major changes is in Flames of War, your tanks go assaulting, they make a bogging check, they get bogged. They're bogged down for the whole assault through your opponent's turn, and then you get to try to unbog them on your turn. In Team Yankee, if they bog, you move them back 2 inches from where they bogged down, and they're not bogged down, but they're out of the assault. They cannot assault. So they become a non-assaulting unit. On page 59, again, it's kind of changed. Let's say this is a situation. We got a German team and then 2 American teams here. And it used to be in Flames of War that if the Germans rolled and got this, actually, yeah, that's it. But what happens is, now in Team Yankee is, if this gets destroyed, they immediately take that position. So they filled up the gaps as it goes. And that's talked about on page 59. And that is right here with closing with the enemy. So check that out on page 59. On page 61, this was a little bit confusing because they've never talked about a field of fire. You know, you can rotate for free on your shooting. Even artillery can rotate for free for shooting. But it says hit top or side armor. And this paragraph here says it can use, so actually I should just start at the beginning so you understand what's going on. So hit top or side armor. When a hit is scored on an armored tank team, the assaulting team has 2 options. The first one is it can use the anti-tank rating of one of its normal weapons against the tank's side armor rating as long as the tank is in its field of fire and the weapon does not have a minimum range. Now, I don't know if they just took that and cut and paste from the Flames of War rulebook and just didn't catch it, because I can understand cutting and pasting. It's going to save you time. There's no reason to rewrite something that's already written. But they've never talked about you having a field of fire. Like if this was a machine gun unit, they can only shoot in front of them. Infantry teams can shoot all the way around them. They don't talk about that in Team Yankee. So it may just be a mistake, but be aware that is there, but I don't see how to play a part in the game. So it's just something I kind of caught that I kind of thought, that's kind of weird. All right, the last one is on page 63. It's on breaking off. And when you broke off, they can do their normal movement rate. They could do 6 inches back. Your tanks can move 12 or 16, depending upon what type of tank it is, maybe 8 inches. In this game, it's 4 inches. So when you break off, it's a 4-inch break off now. Well, that's all I've got. It's kind of a short one, but that's what I found out with Assaults, the kind of changes they made between Flames of War and Team Yankee. Next chapter I'm going to go over is morale.